Okay, so here we are with where we got up to last time. But before we continue, I'm going to just show what exactly it is we're after. This is the plans we've been working on, but if we take a look at the various Jovian Chronicles ships of the fleet books, which I have here. At the moment we're making this one destroyer type centrifuge. However, we can also make the standard Mark II twin arm centrifuges. One of the things with Jovian Chronicles is things tend to be logical progressions of each other, so this one becomes, well, this with a different top section on it, if we look, and these become this, and so on and so forth. Obviously, if we were going for really simple, we would have just done a Corsair and we'd be almost done by now. But we'll get to those later, maybe. So, with that in mind, if we come back here and we have a look, the part we need to do next is this main arm here. So we're going to start our work on that. We also need to correct this image slightly from where I loaded these in. So if that's corrected, I'm just going to quickly resave this. So how do we start? Well, we could extrude a segment up out of this base circle, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to start building this entire base segment from scratch. Now, I know it comes up here and I know it is this thick. And we're going to go to a colour wireframe here again. We know it tapers in here and the like. We're just getting a rough box in the rough in the rough shape of what we need. The other thing we're going to do here is see if we can't find the... It's quicker for me still to do it this way. The sketch colour. So it's easy to see. I actually, until yesterday, didn't even know this menu existed. You hit Shift Control together and click with the buttons and you get various different tools. So with this divided up, to begin with I need to run a knife across here. For some reason that didn't actually... So I got the knife across there. Then we're going to run a bandsaw. Down the middle, like so. Normally we'd already used bandsaw Pro, but it works out either way. I have a cat happily sitting on my computer at the moment, and a wife making comments. Anyway, one moment while I move a cat. So what we need to do here is start working this out a little bit. So we're going to bring this over, and bring this part in a little bit. Move that set out. You can just hit space or drop selection. I just can't remember what the key is, to be honest. I don't use it that often. So now I've got the rough background shape here. I want this one, and we'll see if we can't find it in here. We want the bridge. Command and because, you know, we could be sitting here from now till next year looking through these menus I haven't yet done anything for, we're going to go to our construct panel here, just bridge. And delete the top poly. So this gives us our rough plan form. We need to start doing some adjustments here. Now looking at this base image just now, I noticed we've got, this is actually, the part above here looks like it actually comes off this next piece, so we'll move everything down. I'm going to bring that in a little bit. So there's this first section done. Now we need to do this segment that comes up and onto the circle areas here. So we want to jump to our next layer here. looking at this, we want something akin to that. Now there's two things we can do here. Just depends on how you want to do this. You can boolean operation this segment in, or you can stencil it and then extend it up using the background one as a template. I'm going to stencil, but in doing so, before I do, I'm going to shift this through. Now what this is letting me do is I can bring this segment out, adjust it, slide it a little bit, like so, and then grab the two top segments, and bring them up. So we end up with something like so. And this will just work better when we get around to doing our edge loops and cleaning up the edges. We don't need the extra segment in here, so we can clean that up. Like so. Now it's just general detailing out of this bottom section, because this segment here I'll do separate. So like before, we can do this a number of ways. It's just personal choice. I'm going to start by putting through some detail parts that I want for here. So in this segment, run a knife cut down here, one down the middle. We could have just done a bandsaw pro. We can get rid of these sets, turn symmetry off for a moment. So run this down like so. This will give us, oops, this gives us our center groove section here. Then we want to quickly add in these segments, because this is, as far as I know, mirrored both sides. Again, personal taste. If you wanted to, you could not have it mirrored forward, front, back, side to side. I've just chosen to We'll put a smaller square in on this section. And of course we can see that we've got the raised areas on the sides here, but we can also see that they don't seem to wrap around all the way to the front. So we'll try something like that, though we could always just jump over here and have a look at our other reference material. If we have a look, especially at this style arm, we can see we get the two parts. This part comes down, almost joins on. Got the small gap here. Like so, these are trapezoid in form. We'll need to remember that. The other thing we'll notice is that there's actually a taper here. Just notice that. We've got a taper on this arm. So we need to jump back here. And add that taper. In here. Like so. So that gives us that one, and then we need this second one, which is slightly longer. So now we stencil these segments in, and we turn our symmetry on. Start building them out though. We'll have to put this detail in later too. Now I see this segment as actually being sunken in a little bit. We don't. And smooth shift when we want to do a sync like this doesn't work real well, so we really have to hope that multi-shift decides to play nice. Because what we want to do is we want to do a negative shift amount of about, I'll try 20 centimeters to begin with. So it's going to move it in, but we want a small angle, so we're going to try a 5 centimeter in shift. Then we're going to insert a shift. I'm going to bring this out to negative 50 centimeters. Insert another shift, negative 70 centimeters, and a negative 75 millimeter. Oh, it shouldn't have been a negative, it should be a positive 75 millimeters. So we need to actually jump back here. We want to take the negative off these steps. So we want the inset to be inwards, but yeah. We'll be able to clean that up a little bit better without when we get round to doing all our edge loops. This set here, oops, isn't needed. Find the points and get rid of them. Now if we jump back and have a look at this one, you can see that there's no raised sections, there's no sections that come above this, so these all got to be insets. So what we need to do is select both sides, Shift F Control, we'll move them in slightly. That gives us the initial patterns here. We need this next one and a small detail here. Then we can detail out these sections. Oh, wrong key. This detail in here, I'm going to do as follows. I'm going to have it so that it's a series of boxes like this, but then we're going to actually run some extra detailing down them shortly. So we want both sides, and this one we're going to raise up slightly. And we can see we're going to have some problems with some stuff here, if not already. As shown here, we didn't get a clear stencil. So how do we deal with this? Well, the easiest and quickest and simplest way run a knife cut through there, a knife cut through there. We can also see another reason for the issue. Apparently we didn't copy some stuff properly. So select all these, press the square bracket key to select everything on them. Mirror them again, select only them. Select through here. So, rough detailing done, we need to do these side segments as shown here. So we can see we've got an inset array section and it looks like two small indent. And these appear to be straight, so looks something like this. We've got this segment here too. So we've got what? 1, 2, Actually can get yeah, we'll get rid of this top one for the moment. We'll put this groove-like segment in, though I've got a feeling I'll probably make it a bar or a pipe or something when we get down to actually detailing it. So obviously when we come up here we can see that, you know, this isn't going to fit just as a direct move up. Even the diagram shows you that on the other one. So what we do is we deselect these segments, but unlike and actually even like the other one, we're going to have to adjust the scale on these two. And unless we drag these out, things won't work. So here, Shift C, we're going to call these like default 2 just to help us out here for a moment. Both sides selected. Save just in case it decides to play funny efforts on us, and we're going to negative shift this by, and we see why we saved. Now, there's a couple of reasons why it could have gone and had its little fit there. One of which is our geometry here. So we'll see what happens if we do this. Multi-shift. Ignore the wife's playing of The Witcher. And this time we don't get a problem. And we can see that the 1 metre we were going to shift is way too much. So we'll just 0.25 of a metre or 25 centimetres again. That'll do. Save, multi-shift, negative 25 centimetres. We've got one half done. We won't even bother at the moment with the other half we'll do it the quick way. Select half. Grab it. Delete. Remove those. While we're doing the cleanup, get rid of any 0-point polygons. Do a merge, make certain everything is fine. And at some point we should have been I should have been paying attention, because I've happily made this mess here, which may have been why the problem occurred. So I'm going to select these 3 polygons. I'm going to go construct. I'm going to find under my more bang glue. And get rid of them. So later on we can add some extra detail in here. Like I said, I'm probably going to run a pipe or something, go over some small detail in here. But we have our box, the outline done. Let's start let's get on to rounding out some of the detailing. And we'll turn symmetry on. The other thing we can do is we can gonna have to fix this poly up before we do the rounding, or the beveling I should say. You'll notice I'm not overly worried about the top segments here. I just want the edges on this part. So now we flick over, we grab that, we merge it, back to edge mode, Control B, I mean we can hit N and have a look. You can see with almost things, so we might as well just tell this 15 millimeters or 5 centimeters. Seems to work. Or does it? Because if we have a look here, this is definitely more of a curve. So what we may have to do is, it'll work for most of the edges, but it won't work for this one. Here. So we'll deselect that, we'll give it, it's 50 millimeter. 50 mil. I hate when it does this. So 50 millimeters. We may have a problem here, caused by a non-selected poly. So once again, Control B, 50 millimeter tab. Check everything looks roughly right. We're going to actually add another one on top of this. Except for we may have a problem there. We do. So actually we're just, for the sake of the tutorial, we're just going to do the one edge bevel. Normally I'd probably put another one in, but I'd have to go select a whole bunch of little edges here. Now we want this set of edges here. This one we want to bring it out like this. Now we want to do it again like so. So what we've got now is that curve starting to show that we could see in the other view, on the other schematic. Not happy with this edge here. Want a little bit more here, so that works, but of course we didn't have both sides selected, and I'm glad we didn't, because apparently I didn't have both sides selected in the first run. So I've got a bunch of edges that aren't done over on this side. As we can see here. So we're actually going to deselect these edges. Just like we'll deselect these edges because no point doing any of these bottom ones, they're not going to actually be seen. We want our 50mm edge on this set. And we grab this one again, like so, like so. Now that edge and that edge. Bring them out like that. And try and work out what is happening here. Apparently, well, apparently we didn't actually deselect. That set of edges. Oh well. Sometimes we make mistakes. 50mm. Third time lucky. Like I said, third time lucky, and we get more of what I was after. So now we need to do the same on these segments, but of course first we're going to save. Notice for some reason it didn't select, or I didn't select some edges here. I need to quickly fix that oversight. So it looks like fourth time lucky rather than third time lucky. Do we have all the edges we want selected? Selected. Yes. Finally, at last, I believe we do. Though we may as well do this one, this one, this one, this one. So 50mm. So now we get to try this again. Well, we need to adjust. Guess me, there should be no reason why it shouldn't just do an edge loop on that, but so there we have the basics done for that. We still need to do this segment, but we're almost at the hour that I allot to each of these tutorials. What we will do, just so we don't forget, is run our piping through. So, ending part 3, what do we have? If we have a look at our texture view, we've got the start of our base segment here, the hab module, and our center circle. And that is where we're going to leave part 3. I'll try and get part 4 done for tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching and see you next time.